We are blessed indeed. And joining us now in the studio, the CSpire Roundtable, Dave Miller, Senior Manager of Media Relations at CSpire, and also Chris Champion, Vice President of Government Relations for CSpire. And are we going to get, I think we're getting Carla. We got Carla Lewis, also the Chief Technology Officer, the CTO of CSpire, joining us to comprise our roundtable. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so Dave, pretty excited about this legislation that recently passed, which requires implementation of a computer science curriculum, much needed in our public schools here in Mississippi. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's really to us it's great because after the struggle last year, where we came out and we really trying to get the issue out there and get the focus. There's a lot of issues and a lot of challenges that the legislature has to try to deal with issues, and this is another one of those. And we came out really, it was kind of in your face campaign where we really went at the state and said, hey, we got to get your attention on this issue because it's something that we can't wait to do. And so we made a lot of progress. In fact, we probably would have got that bill into law last year, but of course the pandemic came. But, there's always a silver lining even with the bad stuff. And so the pandemic actually refocused attention on the importance of computer science, particularly for schools and for future job opportunities for young people. So we're just really happy that we're at the point now where the bill has been signed into law, and now we're moving into the implementation phase. Mississippi is going to be in a great position, we think, in the future, not only for job opportunities for young people, but now businesses, particularly technology companies, are not going to have any reason not to look at Mississippi and not to consider Mississippi as a place where they want to come. Yeah,
it's an excellent point. Thanks for that, Dave. Carla, good morning.
Good morning.
So, Carla, as the Chief Technology Officer, what does this mean to you to know that you've got a pipeline, hopefully, of young folks that are engaged in learning about computer science and just information technology in general? I know, having been in that business, it's a constant struggle to really just to manage the imbalance of supply and demand of technical talent, and not necessarily technical talent, but working in the technology industry requires just a gambit of skills besides just strictly technical skills. And I think that's often misunderstood. What does that mean to you as the CTO?
It means, everything, to me, CTO and also, other businesses, across our state to be able, to have that talent born and birthed right here in Mississippi and be able to keep them here to fill the jobs that we have.
Sure.
We're growing just like, everyone else. And we have a need for people with the skills, and we struggle with finding, the top talent, the right talent to fill the open positions that we have, at CSpire. And to your point, and I'm not just talking about positions in the IT department or in the network area. I'm talking about across the organization.
Sure.
Because the skills that all of these students, all of these young people, will learn when they take these computer science courses will help them no matter what area they work in. If they work in our marketing department, if they work in HR, every job has these type skills as a requirement now and more so in the future. So no matter what career choice they make, for our youth, these skills are going to be absolutely necessary for them to land the next job at CSpire or anywhere else.
If you want to work in an industry that is repetitive and where the environment is fairly stable and doesn't change and move a lot, this ain't the one you want to be in. But
absolutely not.
But that's what it's invigorating about it.
Innovating. Every industry is innovating. So our youth will be left behind if CSpire didn't push this, to law, push this into law.
Yeah. Excellent, just excellent analysis there. Appreciate that, Carla. So, Chris, working in government relations, was this a heavy lift down there at the Capitol?
It was an interesting effort because you have a lot of school districts that already teach computer science, and so it was more of an education of members in education superintendents around the state saying, hey, yes, you already teach computer science, but there are plenty of schools out here that don't. And so there's a lot of school districts that aren't going to have to change one thing. And so you had some members that say, well, what does this bill do for my school district? Well, it's not going to do a whole lot. You're already doing great things and setting up your students for success later in life. But, this bill was about making computer science available for every student across the state, no matter where they lived, no matter what their school district was rated, but to bring computer science to all schools around the state. And so it was an education. We had to do a lot of education of legislators about what computer science really is and why it's important for the future. But once everybody really understood what our campaign was about, everyone pretty much bought in. We had an almost unanimous vote in both the House and the Senate, and we were led in the Senate by Senator Delano, in the House by Representative Kevin Felcher, and just had a lot of support down at the Capitol this year.
Carla, I think to the typical person that's not in the industry, the perception is that computer science equal software development and programming, but it's way broader than that.
Absolutely, it is way broader than that. We talk about what you learn, right? You learn critical thinking, you learn computational problem-solving skills. Those skills help you no matter what you do. But IT, information technology, is just not about software development or coding. It is wide range, from support, database, administration, business analysis. It is very broad within IT alone, not to mention the skills that are needed to do to be able to work in other functional areas of organizations. But yes, it is not just about development or software development or coding. It's much broader than that. It's much bigger than that. That's why computer science is so important.
And it's a great point, Dave, because when you learn as Carla said, the basic skill sets, the basic constructs of just logical, critical thinking and solving problems, using those thought processes, and then you apply that or leverage technology to augment those solutions or sometimes completely deliver those solutions, that's really what it's all about.
No question about it. In fact, we live in a generation. Our young people, particularly, the middle school and high school students, they've been exposed to technology their entire lives. So they are used to using technology, and really what our responsibility is to ensure that they have the opportunities to use that technology in a way that's going to, make their quality of life better. And one of the ways we do that is through going and using computer science. And a couple of the areas that are really, really popular right now, it's one thing that we recognized early on. When you look at gaming, when you look at robotics, when you look at artificial intelligence, when you look at machine learning, those are all areas that are going to really take off even further than they are now. And we think that the opportunities, to learn the basics of that in middle school and high school is really critical for just having a well-rounded student. And you don't have to go into computer science. You don't have to get a degree, but it just makes you better. It makes you more marketable. It gives you more opportunities. It gives you more choices. And that's really what this is all about.
Yeah, no question. Great point. And so, Chris, what about the implementation of this program? I know you touched on that a little bit. Some schools are already there, some aren't. What's the plan there?
Well, the biggest need we have is training teachers. And so the CSpire Foundation has put forward $1 million towards that effort, and the legislature matched that with $1 million appropriation. So we'll be working with Mississippi State University over the course of the next several years to train the teachers that we need in these schools. Now, many schools already have some type of technology teacher. Or they have someone teaching computer, and it's now taking them to that next step, and so training them for computer science. And so we've worked extremely well with Mississippi State University, who has a relationship with the Department of Education, to train those teachers. And so we'll be working from the kindergarten level all the way to 12th grade, getting teachers ready. Got
about a minute, Chris. Finally, where does this put us with respect to the other states in the country?
Absolutely. The Southeast is actually a leader with computer science, so it brings us up to par with Arkansas and Alabama, who've had this law for several years.
Awesome.
The South is a leader.
That's fantastic. Dave, Chris, Carla, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Gerard.
Great work, too, by CSpire. Appreciate you guys doing this.